What if the cure you've been searching for is already breathing inside you? Ibn Arabi said, the body mirrors the heart. When the heart forgets, the body falls ill. Stay till the end, and you'll see how one moment of still remembrance can make your body eat away its own disease. Where are you watching from? There is a quiet conversation happening inside you every day between your body and your soul. Most people never stop long enough to hear it. You wake before the sun, the phone lights up, and the first noise of the world floods in. Notifications, coffee, headlines, deadlines. The body follows orders like an obedient servant. It runs, sits, types, worries, eats fast, breathes shallow. And somewhere between one rush and the next, you feel it, that dull heaviness in the chest, the tired ache behind the eyes, the quiet stiffness that no medicine fully cures. We call it fatigue. Doctors call it stress, but Ibn Arabi called it forgetfulness, the body's way of saying, "You have left me behind in the noise." He wrote, "When the heart forgets remembrance, the body becomes its echo," meaning the pain you feel is not always an enemy. Sometimes it's a message written in flesh asking you to return to balance. Every cell in you was created to move with harmony. When you were born, your first breath was a verse, be, and you came into rhythm with life. Each heartbeat since then has been a repetition of that command. But as the world grew louder, your awareness grew thinner. The heartbeat stayed, but the remembrance faded. We say, "My back hurts," or "I can't sleep," or "I feel anxious for no reason." Yet Sufi wisdom says every ache is a language, every unease is a letter from the soul. When the soul grows silent, the body begins to speak in its place. Imagine a servant trying to alert his master of danger while the master wears heavy headphones. That is the body under heedlessness. It keeps signaling through exhaustion, tight breath, cold palms, clenched jaws. But we drown its messages in noise, caffeine, screens, distractions, endless doing. Then one day, the body speaks louder, a pain that makes you stop, an illness that slows you down. You think it's punishment, but Ibn Arabi would call it mercy, because through the ache, you finally pause, you finally listen. He said, "Nothing that befalls you is random. It is the wisdom of the one calling you back through the form he gave you." You see, your body was never meant to be treated as machinery that breaks down. It's a divine instrument that tunes itself when the player, your consciousness, remembers the right melody. When you live in haste, the strings tighten. When you live in remembrance, they begin to hum again. Think of the last time you truly rested, not the sleep of exhaustion, but the peace of stillness. Maybe it was in prayer, maybe in the soft light after Fajr, maybe while watching rain without rushing anywhere. In that stillness, something subtle shifted. Your breath deepened, your thoughts slowed, and for a brief moment, your body aligned with your soul. That is healing. The prophet said, "There is a piece of flesh in the body, and if it is sound, the whole body is sound. If it is corrupt, the whole body is corrupt. It is the heart." Centuries later, Ibn Arabi echoed it through the language of divine science. The body is the mirror, the heart, the reflection. Heal one and the other follows. So when your body aches, don't rush to silence it. Ask softly, "What have I forgotten? What emotion have I buried? Where have I abandoned stillness?" Because often what we call disease is only the body's longing for remembrance. There's a saying among the Sufis, when you ignore the whispers of the body, you invited screams. Yet even the screams are mercy because they break the spell of heedlessness. The first act of healing is not medicine, it is listening. Sit quietly once, without noise, without complaint, and feel the silent rhythm under your skin. That pulse is dhikr, in motion. That is your body remembering God for you, even when your mind forgets. And if you can align your awareness to that rhythm, even for a moment, you begin the forgotten conversation again. Because the body was never your enemy. It was always your messenger, and it's waiting for you to finally listen. When Ibn Arabi spoke of the human form, he called it the most complete mirror of divine wisdom. He believed that nothing in creation is as precise, as layered, and as divinely engineered as the body you live in right now. Every pulse, every breath, every flicker of thought is part of a sacred system that reflects a higher order. Yet most people live as if their body were random matter, something that just happened to exist. Look deeper, and you begin to see what the mystics saw. Beneath the skin lies a divine mechanism, always obeying the command, be. The lungs expand in trust. The heart beats in remembrance. The blood moves in obedience. Not one cell forgets its creator except the consciousness that claims ownership over them. Modern medicine studies how the brain sends signals to organs, how hormones shift moods, how stress weakens immunity. But long before any laboratory, the Sufis described the same process in the language of spirit. They said, when fear dominates the mind, the breath shortens, not just because of nerves, but because fear constricts the remembrance of life itself. When gratitude rises, the breath expands, allowing divine energy to circulate again. This is not poetry. It is precision. Ibn Arabi wrote, "The form is maintained by the spirit, and the spirit is maintained by remembrance." The moment you forget who sustains you, imbalance begins, not as punishment, but as reflection. Because in the Sufi view, every form mirrors its inner state. If the heart is anxious, the body trembles. If the heart is tranquil, the body follows in stillness. A young physician once visited a dervish known for his calm presence. "Tell me," he said, "how can stillness heal what even medicine struggles to cure?" The dervish smiled. "Because medicine treats what appears," he said, "but remembrance treats what is hidden. And what is hidden governs what appears." It's easy to dismiss such words as metaphor until you experience them. Imagine sitting for 1 minute in silence, drawing a single deep breath with awareness. The body begins to respond immediately. The heart rate slows, blood vessels open, the mind clears. Science measures this as relaxation. The mystic measures it as alignment, the moment when the body remembers its original design, peace. In Arabic, the word for health, siha, shares its root with sadiq, meaning truth. To be healthy, then, is not merely to be free of disease, it is to be in truth with yourself, in harmony with your origin. The divine mechanism works perfectly when it is governed by that truth, but when heedlessness enters, when one eats without gratitude, speaks without awareness, rushes without reflection, the mechanism falters, not because it's broken, but because it's ignored. Ibn Arabi compared the body to a lamp. The oil is faith, the wick is remembrance, and the flame is awareness. When the oil runs low, the light flickers, but refill the oil through dhikr, through conscious breath, through stillness, and the lamp burns steady again. It's not that the divine mechanism needs repair. It needs remembrance. You don't fix the sun to make it rise. You simply remove the veil that blocks its light. Likewise, healing is not creating something new. It's unveiling what was always functioning beneath neglect. This is why one moment of true stillness can begin to heal what years of distraction could not. Because stillness restores order, not by force, but by permission. The moment the heart remembers, the body obeys. So when you sit quietly and breathe the name of the one who sustains you, you are not doing something mystical. You are synchronizing with the order already written within your cells. You are letting the divine mechanism run as it was meant to. The Quran says, "And he fashioned you and perfected your form." The perfection is already there, but it responds to consciousness. The more present you become, the more precise the harmony grows. Your body is not resisting you. It is waiting for you. Every cell longs for the return of the master who once guided it with remembrance. When you remember, you restore command. When you trust, you release healing. Nothing in you is random. Every pulse is a prayer. Every breath is a verse. And the one who remembers this truth activates the divine mechanism within. There is a moment, subtle yet immense, when the whole body begins to listen. It is the instant you become still, not the stillness of laziness, but the stillness of surrender. That is the act that awakens healing. Ibn Arabi called it al-sukun al-arifin, the stillness of those who know. It is when the servant stops struggling to control life and begins to witness it flowing through him. He wrote, "When the heart ceases its noise, the truth begins to speak through the form." That is the secret. The body cannot repair itself under command, only under surrender. Imagine this. Before dawn, the city sleeps. You rise, wash your face, and sit quietly near a window. No words, no lists, no phone, just your breath. Slow, aware, obedient. Inhale with Allah, exhale with release. For one moment, you are neither thinking nor doing. You are remembering. In that remembrance, something ancient stirs. The breath softens, the shoulders lower, the mind unclenches its grip. You are not summoning healing, you are returning to alignment. The divine current that once animated clay begins to move freely again. Sufi masters taught that one breath in full awareness is worth 1,000 in forgetfulness, because that single breath resets the entire rhythm of your being. Blood pressure drops, hormones rebalanced, muscles relax. Yes, science can measure it, but beyond the data lies a spiritual law. The body responds to what the heart believes. If the heart whispers, "I am safe in His care," the body obeys. If it repeats, "I am alone," the body withers in defense. That is why Ibn Arabi said, "The form listens to the soul as the shadow listens to light." The act of still remembrance, doing this once with sincerity, is not a ritual. It's a reordering of creation within you. A woman once asked her sheikh, "How can I heal my endless exhaustion?" He said, "Stop fighting your body as if it were a stranger. Sit beside it as a friend. Tell it, you and I are under His command. Then breathe together." She did. Each morning she sat in silence and breathed 3 times with intention. Weeks later, her exhaustion faded, not vanished by miracle, but dissolved through trust. This is the essence of the act. Sit, breathe, remember, trust. Do it once with full presence, and the body begins to correct itself. Because remembrance opens the gate of divine order, and order is the foundation of health. The prophet said, "The believer's breath in remembrance is worship." So when you breathe with awareness, you're not just inhaling oxygen, you are inhaling mercy. Each breath carries the name. Each exhale releases burden. The moment you become conscious of this rhythm, healing begins, quietly, humbly, naturally. People often seek the extraordinary, waiting for lightning to strike, for pain to disappear overnight. But divine healing is not thunder, it is dawn. Soft, certain, gradual. It begins with one act of surrender. One moment when you say, I let go of control, I am under His care. That sentence alone rearranges your inner world. Ibn Arabi wrote, when the heart bows, the body prostrates. Meaning, when the soul submits in trust, every organ aligns with peace. The heart's electricity steadies. The nervous system calms. Cells begin their silent labor of repair, no longer flooded with fear. Do this once, sincerely, with stillness, and you will feel it, a warmth rising through your chest, a quiet expansion behind your eyes, a soft pulse in your palms that wasn't there before. That is not imagination. That is the body remembering its Lord. And once it remembers, it begins to obey again, to clean itself, repair itself, and eat away what does not belong. Fear, resentment, fatigue, they start to fade, not because you forced them, but because you stepped aside and allowed divine order to resume. This is the act that awakens healing, one moment of still remembrance. Do it once, and your body will begin the journey it was always designed to complete, the journey back to harmony. In the hidden language of the Sufis, every thought is a vibration, every emotion a note in the unseen symphony of existence. Ibn Arabi called this the law of resonance, the divine balance, or mazan, through which all creation communicates. Nothing you think, feel, or whisper within yourself is lost. It travels through you, shaping the rhythm of your being. The body listens, always. When you dwell in gratitude, its muscles loosen. When you harbor resentment, its pulse hardens. When you live in fear, breath retreats into the chest as if hiding from life itself. Science calls this stress response. Ibn Arabi called it dissonance, the heart's music falling out of tune with remembrance. He wrote, "The heart is the conductor and every limb is an instrument." If the conductor forgets the melody of trust, the orchestra plays noise instead of harmony. And that noise, the Sufis say, becomes illness, not as punishment, but as feedback, as echo. For just as you can sense tension in a room without hearing words, the cells of your body sense the truth of your thoughts before you speak them. Close your eyes for a moment and remember a time you were angry. Do you recall how the body reacted? The heat in your face, the tightening jaw, the restless urge to move? Now remember a moment of forgiveness, how your shoulders softened, how the breath came easier. Nothing outside you changed in those moments. Only the frequency within you shifted. That is resonance, the body echoing the state of the soul. The Quran says, indeed, Allah does not change the condition of a people until they change what is within themselves. The mystics understood this as more than moral advice. It is spiritual physics. Change your inner state, and your outer form must follow. When your thoughts are heavy, they pull your body down. When your heart is light with remembrance, even your posture begins to lift. Ibn Arabi compared the human being to a polished mirror reflecting divine light. When that mirror is clouded by envy, greed, or despair, the reflection distorts. But when you cleanse the mirror with dhikr, the remembrance of the One, the light flows again, restoring clarity, balance, and vitality. He said, "The body shines when the heart remembers." Modern people seek healing in pills and procedures, and yes, these are blessings, means provided by the divine. But without resonance, without alignment, even the best medicine struggles to work. Because medicine treats matter, while remembrance restores meaning. And without meaning, no form can truly heal. A Sufi teacher once placed a bowl of water before his students. He stirred it violently with a stick and said, "This is the restless heart. How clear is its reflection?" The students saw only ripples. Then he stilled the water and said, "Now look." In the calm surface, the moon appeared, perfect, radiant, untouched. He smiled. The body heals when the heart becomes still enough to reflect light. The law of resonance is mercy itself. It means you are never trapped. Change one thought, from fear to trust, from complaint to gratitude, and you shift the entire frequency of your being. Do it long enough, and the body must respond. It begins to harmonize with that vibration until peace becomes your default state, not an accident, but a law fulfilled. So the next time anxiety grips your chest, don't fight it. Pause and ask, "What song am I playing through my heart right now?" Then whisper softly, "Allah is near." Let that remembrance ripple through your veins. Within seconds, the pulse slows, the breath deepens, and the current of peace re-enters its rightful path. Ibn Arabi said, "When remembrance dwells in the heart, the entire universe inclines towards you in ease." That is resonance, divine alignment between soul, body, and creation. Every emotion you nurture becomes a prayer your body answers. Every thought you repeat becomes the command your cells obey. Keep them pure, keep them gentle, keep them in remembrance, and the law of resonance will transform your very flesh into harmony. Every breath you take carries a name. It may not reach your tongue, but it vibrates through your veins. The mystics say that the body was fashioned from the letters of the divine names, that every organ, every cell moves under the command of a specific attribute of God. To live in balance is to live in harmony with those names. To fall ill is to forget which name sustains you. Ibn Arabi wrote, "Each form manifests a name of the real, and every name seeks to reveal itself through the form," meaning your being is a living reflection of the unseen. When you feel hunger, it is Ar-Razak, the provider, reminding you of dependence. When you feel fatigue, it is Al-Hakim, the wise, urging you to rest in rhythm. When you recover, it is Ash-Shafa, the healer, reasserting his mercy through your flesh. The body does not operate by accident. It obeys divine attributes in motion. Every pulse of blood is a decree of Al-Qayyum, the sustainer. Every tear shed in repentance is the whisper of At-Tawwab, the acceptor of return. When you breathe deeply after fear, that ease is the touch of As-Salam, the source of peace. But heedlessness veils these names. When we eat without remembrance, the blessing of our Razak goes unnoticed. When we heal and credit chance, the mercy of Ash-Shafa remains unrecognized. When we suffer impatience, we forget Al-Hakim, who ordains timing with purpose. The Sufi path is not to seek miracles, but to unveil the ordinary miracles already happening inside us. The stomach digesting, the lungs cleansing, the skin renewing. Each is an act of worship happening in silence. To see that truth is to live in remembrance even while sitting, walking, working. You begin to understand that you are not separate from divine activity. You are its stage. A scholar once asked a dervish, "How does God heal through the body?" The dervish smiled and replied, "As light heals through the dawn, the darkness does not fight it. It simply steps aside." When you call upon the name Ash-Shafa with trust, you're not asking for new power. You are allowing divine light to pass unobstructed through the matter you call me. There is a story of a man who carried years of bitterness in his heart. He prayed for health, but remained weary. One night, he sat alone and whispered, "O Allah, you are Ash-Shafa. If healing is delayed, let it be by your wisdom, not my impatience." He wept, not out of despair, but surrender. In that moment, his heart softened. The next morning, his pain was lighter, not vanished, but transformed. He was no longer fighting the illness. He was cooperating with the healer. That is the hidden secret. Shifa, true healing, begins when you stop identifying as the wounded and start identifying as the one under divine care. Because the body follows belief, just as a shadow follows light. Ibn Arabi said, "When you call upon a name, that name calls upon you." When you invoke Ar-Razak, generosity rises within you. When you remember Ash-Shafa, resilience stirs in your blood. When you trust Al-Hakam, patience settles in your breath. Each name you remember activates the quality it signifies. Even the slowest healing carries mercy. A wound that lingers may be Al-Hakam teaching humility. A delay in recovery may be As-Sabur strengthening endurance. A sudden recovery may be Al-Karim revealing generosity. Every outcome is a language of names, and the body is the parchment upon which that language is written. So when you place your hand over your heart and whisper, "Ya Ash-Shafa," know that you are not merely speaking a word. You are aligning with a reality that has been working within you since your first breath. The healer is not distant. He heals through you, in you, and as you. Every name is alive inside your flesh, waiting for your awareness to awaken it. When you remember the names remember you, and healing begins where recognition returns. The mystics never separated spirituality from the body. To them, every movement, every breath, every simple act of living could become dhikr, remembrance in motion. They believed that healing does not descend from outside, it rises from alignment inside. Once awareness returns to its rightful place, the heart, even the smallest habits, become channels of divine order. Ibn Arabi said, "The one who walks in remembrance leaves a fragrance the world cannot forget." He wasn't speaking of perfume, he meant presence. When remembrance lives in your gestures, your body begins to mirror peace. Your hands slow down. Your eyes soften. Even the way you sit or eat becomes gentler, more deliberate, more grateful. And this, he taught, is the beginning of healing, when the body learns to imitate the stillness of the soul. Begin at dawn, the hour when angels record first intentions. Before touching your phone, place your hands together, close your eyes, and breathe 3 times deeply. With each breath, whisper, Alhamdulillah. Feel the air entering your lungs as mercy, not oxygen. This is not ritual, it's realignment. The moment you thank before asking, you tune your system to abundance instead of lack. The heart opens. The day begins under the frequency of shukr, gratitude, and gratitude itself is medicine. When you eat, eat slowly. Let each bite remind you of Ar-Razak, the provider who orchestrated soil, sun, and rain to feed you. take the first morsel with Bismillah in His name, so that nourishment carries light rather than haste. Modern science will tell you this aids digestion, reduces stress, balances hormones. The mystics would smile and say, of course, because peace always digests better than worry. Throughout the day, whenever you feel heaviness, pause and whisper one of His names. If your thoughts scatter, call upon Al-Hakam, the wise, to order them. If weariness creeps in, say Ya Qaweh, the strong. If anxiety rises, breathe with As-Salam, the source of peace. It is not superstition, it is resonance. Each repetition reprograms the nervous system to match the vibration of the word. The remembrance becomes physiological truth. And then comes the hidden medicine, khidma, service. The Sufis say that helping others reopens blocked energy within oneself. When you ease someone's burden, Allah eases yours, not metaphorically, but energetically. The body that gives becomes a channel for flow. Stagnation dissolves. A generous heart has better circulation. Even science now confirms what Sufis always knew. Compassion heals the one who gives it. As night approaches, return to silence. Before sleep, sit for 1 minute in darkness and speak gently to your body. Whisper, "Thank you for serving me today. Forgive me for the neglect. You and I are both under His care." This is not self-help. It's adab, spiritual courtesy toward the trust you were given. You'll notice something. The breath slows naturally. The mind quiets. That is your body responding to recognition, like a servant smiling when the master finally says, "Thank you." If you wish to deepen this practice, place your hand over your heart and visualize light descending from above. Let it spread to your head, shoulders, arms, and legs until the whole form feels luminous from within. With each exhale, whisper, "Ya Shaf, heal me through your mercy." This simple invocation aligns emotion, breath, and faith into one current. The energy that was once scattered in anxiety becomes centered in trust. The heart radiates steadiness, and the body follows like a river finding its course again. You see, remembrance was never meant to stay confined to prayer mats or beads. It was meant to move through your work, your laughter, your service, your rest. It is not what you do, but how you do it. Conscious, slow, surrendered. Ibn Arabi said, "The one who remembers while walking heals every step he takes." The meaning is simple. When remembrance fills action, action becomes worship. And worship refines the body into light. So live remembrance, not just recite it. Walk it, breathe it, feed it, serve it, and watch how slowly, quietly, your body begins to glow again, not with vanity, but with balance. That is healing in motion. When you pause long enough to listen, you realize healing was never far away. It wasn't waiting in distant miracles or rare remedies. It was woven into the silence between your breaths, in the rhythm of your heart, in the mercy that never stopped flowing through you. Ibn Arabi said, "When the servant knows himself, he knows his Lord." He wasn't inviting philosophy, he was describing awakening. To know yourself is to witness how divine order lives within you. The body, the mind, and the soul were never three separate things. They were one orchestra, and remembrance is the conductor that returns them to harmony. So when you remember, your body remembers. When your heart finds stillness, your breath follows. When gratitude sits on your tongue, the cells of your body rejoice. This is not imagination. This is mazan, balance restored. the law of divine resonance unfolding through a human being who finally stopped resisting. And that is the hidden meaning behind the command. Do this once, not once in count, but once in truth, with sincerity, with full presence, with trust. One moment of complete awareness can reorient years of forgetfulness. One act of surrender can awaken the inner physician that no external cure can rival. Do it once, and the body begins to eat away its own diseases, not by magic, but by the mercy of the one who heals through order, through balance, through remembrance. You don't need to chase healing, you only need to cooperate with it. When the heart trusts, the body obeys. When the soul bows, the form aligns. When awareness awakens, even the smallest gesture becomes medicine. It's not the act that heals, it's the consciousness behind it. So tomorrow morning, before the world begins its noise, sit in quiet for 1 minute. Breathe gently and say, Ya Shafa, you heal through me. Then watch how peace begins to travel through your being, how the world around you softens in response. Healing starts within, but it never stays there. It spreads through your presence, your patience, your kindness. Because the healed heart becomes a healer. The one who remembers becomes a refuge for those who forget. And the body that has found balance becomes a mirror of divine mercy in motion. Have you ever felt your body calm the instant your heart turned toward remembrance? Share your reflection below. Your story may be the sign someone else is waiting for. If this message touched you like this video, subscribe to Voice of Sufism and tap the bell icon so you don't miss the next reflection. And remember, every breath you take is a verse, every heartbeat a reminder, nothing is random, every sign is an invitation.